Hey, what's up? You are tuned in and back at the Bougie AF channel with your host, Shug Avery. I just got to the place in life I was just like, I don't know. I'm just bougie. Now let's get into the show.
That just means I'm just bougie. All right, so I'm sitting here and I got the lip gloss popping and whatnot and whatnot. All right, so I've been meaning to do this video, and if this is your first time here, you got your host, me, Shug Avery. But if this is your first time here, don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at OG_Shug Avery, right? All right, so we're here because we're talking about submission. I've been meaning to do this video for a while, and the reason why I didn't do it right away was because one, like I told you, this is sparingly for me right now, and then two, I wanted to figure out what it meant for me myself personally, right? And I wanted to figure that out. I didn't want to figure it out on camera. I didn't want to figure it out like I wanted to figure it out completely before I put it out there, right? Because I am single. I just feel like people will use this to learn you. And it's something I think that probably a lot of celebrities, have a problem with when they have a hard time meeting people organically. And that's not to say that I am a celebrity, but at the fact of the matter is, you can't um I can't not I can't be naive to the fact that this is actually the internet, and it's forever, right? So anyone can come across it, right? So with that being said, a lot of times people may not even let you know they're watching, and that and that can be I wouldn't say disheartening, but it's hard when someone is watching you and you don't know, and they're not letting you know, but you're interacting with them on a daily basis. Whereas if they would be upfront about the fact that they watch you, well, then you would have an idea about what may they know or may they not know, if that makes sense. And I think that's the same extent when it comes to dating, right? You go out on a date with somebody, and if this person has been a fan of yours, and like I said, I say this about Tamar and David, but if you go out with somebody and this person's been a fan of yours, they've been watching and they've been collecting, so it's hard to date somebody like that. I'm not gonna say it's impossible, but it's just really hard, because I think for me, when I sit here, Tamar talk about David and them dating in 18 months, and him being so perfect, and everything's always perfect in the beginning. I feel a lot of that has to do with the fact that you've been on TV for the past 10 years. And it may be, it may be longer than it really is. I think it may be 2014 or something like that. It's just been a really long time. So everything about you is so out there. It's just hard to date someone who's not famous. I don't even think sometimes in some cases that you can, because it's so hard to get that organic meat. Like I struggle with that. Okay? Like I struggle with that. I struggle with meeting people organically in here, because either it's a small city, or somebody feels like they know me, they heard about me from someone or someone, and this is like I don't even know the someone or that someone. It'd be like five people removed from the actual person, it'd be like weird shit. So I know if I'm going through, I can just imagine a celebrity, because it's like y'all are just getting little glimpse little glimpse, and well, it's like a known fact for them, and they feel like they know you, right? So that's why I say I think it's hard. It's going to be hard for Tamar and women like Tamar, and just people in general, to date, and that person knows you. All right, back to what we're here for. We're here about talk about submission. Oh my god. I did all that talking that wasn't about submission, because I struggle with this, and I struggle with this. And let me tell you, so if you don't know, Jeannie Ma is one of the co-hosts of the Real daytime television show. Let me tell you something. I actually was looking at clips for another video, and this show is missing a Tamar, and I don't know if there could ever be occurring a reunion between y'all, or her come back to the show. But at the end of the day, out of everyone on this show, and I don't mean this to discredit any of the women that is on the show, but I think we know now. You guys have tried to change different parts of the show, and it always comes back to Tamar was the show. like, like the energy is just different, and it was just. I would have loved to see Tamar with Garcelle on the show. I just really think outside of adding Garcelle right now, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I was a fan of Amanda Seales. I just don't think it was the right place for her because she's not going to water it down. And when when I want to listen to Amanda Seales, I'm not going to want her to water it down. But the show's most definitely missing Tamar. Tamar. I don't care what nobody say. People try to get mad at the Tamar characters, or not the Tamar characters, but the Tamar type of personalities, and I can be bored. Like I can get there, like with Tamar with the slick shit that come out my mouth. But at the end of the day, without the Tamars, the shows be whack. I'm just gonna be completely honest. Like it has no personality. Everyone's so PC. Nobody wants to go there. There's a reason why Joe Budden, amongst those three, he pops in that because he's gonna go there. He's gonna take it there. There's a reason why Ebro in the morning he pops. He's gonna take it there because he surrounded himself with some. Um, uh, he surrounded himself. He's gonna pop. You know what I'm saying? Who else? Charlemagne. He's gonna pop in that scenario because DJ Envy he really doesn't commit to really strong opinions that often. Angela Yee on the show, she takes a more submissive role. So those personalities are needed. So that's why I say Tamar is most definitely needed. I'm dragging my feet again to talk about this submission shit. I am dragging my feet. How do I feel about the submission? Okay, so when I first heard that Jeannie Ma had made comments about submission, I was just like, okay. So if you don't know, Jeannie Ma, co-host of The Real, like I said, she went through a divorce like maybe 2 years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Young Jeezy, the rapper in the picture, he has been like I feel like he's been her first boyfriend since her first real relationship since her divorce. I think that's a little concerning, but who am I? But this has been her first real relationship since the divorce, and they're already engaged and talking about getting married. Now, the reason why they're in the news is because Jeannie Ma has came forward and came out in an interview when she was talking about looking forward to getting married. One of the things that she says that she did believe in was submission. And I hate that this conversation comes up. And let me tell you why I hate that this conversation comes up because I don't think this is a conversation you can have in public. I don't think this is a conversation that that involves the people who involve more than the people that is in I feel like that covenant, that bond, that agreement. Because it's not the same agreement across the board. I don't like that's just not even possible, right? So when I hear people want to talk about submission, one, I usually hear men who should not even be thinking about submission, right? Like you are in no position in life to even to take on a woman and take on a house or take on leadership because especially in 2020 you're asking women who come with being giving tools to know that you could make it on your own if you wanted to, right? That's just a fact, and that's just go men and women. So women most definitely in 2020 feel empowered in knowing that, right? With that being said, to ask a woman who knows that she could be fine without you because she needs you, and I'm sorry, because she wants to is not because she needs you, right? And to understand that is to be like, okay, in 2020, yes, I believe in submission, right? But that's not to any and every one. And the right man has to talk about submission and not even to even like even sitting back. I don't see white people talking about submission. This is weird to me that it's such a power dynamic of control that happens between black people that this is such a big conversation that continues to keep happening. Hold on one second. I also feel like if a man is doing what he's supposed to, this is not even a conversation that even has to happen, right? I don't feel like our great grandparents sat down and had to talk about what submission is. I think that's a natural. I think as you date and you learn each other, his strengths and your strengths, it's a flow that you naturally fall into, right? And it's respect giving on both ends of a relationship. So to me, I hate the conversation. I think some for some relationships, head of the household could just look completely different across the board. You get what I'm saying? Head of the household could mean that he's the breadwinner, he goes home, she stays home and takes care of everything domestic. Um, and that's just what it is. When it comes to the decision of the family, when it comes to the kids, school, and all the other stuff, she raises and she makes decisions. she could be making all the decision in terms of kids and the daily operation. Now he could be in charge in the family in the sense of the budget and the money and major decisions, and in the sense of I was major decisions, like takes the lead on it, right? He's the one who he's the showrunner, basically. Yes, that's what I say. He's the showrunner, because I don't think you can just make the decision on your own in a marriage or in a relationship. And we should only be talking about submission if we're talking about marriage. Like, what are we talking about when you're talking about submission when it comes to boyfriends? Again, it's a that if you as a man doing what you're supposed to, it naturally happens. It naturally happens. Like, so that's why I feel like even in dating, there's no need to talk about it, because if I'm interested in pleasing you and giving you what you want, that naturally happens if I want to be in this relationship. And boundaries and knowing what you will or will not accept, you know, either that person will adapt to understand, or y'all come to an understanding or compromise that each other doesn't feel like they've compromised who they are. You know what I'm saying? So it just feels like, I hate the conversation. I promise you, I hate it. I feel like it keeps coming up. So this led to, so if you guys wanted to hear it, let me go ahead. I don't know. I don't know if I feel like I have to play, because I feel like at this point everyone has seen it. Um, One of the other good points that I felt like, so Jeannie Ma felt like, and I agree with her. When I first originally heard it, I heard it like as if though she was trying to tell black women how to keep a man and get a man, and how to be about submission, right? That's how I heard it, right? Because you know how salacious headlines could be, and I had just read that first headline. I think I put a quick slick tweet out like, "Listen, I don't need Jeannie Ma addressing me about shit when it comes to these niggas, right?" That's what I was thinking. But then once she came back out and re-explained it, or maybe I took the time to actually really listen to what she was saying, I was just like, I totally agree with her. Like I'm totally the same way. And that's so funny, because I then had this other conversation about on Instagram with a female, and we were talking about, it wasn't that we were talking, she had posted a meme, and let me see if I have the meme, because I want to show you guys the meme. I low key hated the meme. I thought the meme was just it's so ugh. It's so ugh, ugh. It's so ill to me. Like, let me hold on. I want to make sure you guys see this. Where is it? Okay, here we go. And she's a beautiful girl from my city. She's a singer. Hold on 1 second. And this is not, like I said, I'm not, please, you got to understand something about me. There's nothing ignorant about me. So if I bring something up or bring someone up into regards to conversation, please know they're just like, it's not to be shady or any of that or indirect. Because you can talk about something or a conversation without talking about a person, and don't let that go over. Please don't let that go over. I need for it not to go over, but I just want y'all to really see this. Sorry, y'all. I didn't know my Wi-Fi wasn't on, so I'm an eardrop. All right, here we go. All right, so as we wait for that, so right, and so the conversation I was having on Instagram was about the concept. Oh, here we go. All right, so I know the video is gonna look kind of crazy because it's two parts. Because I didn't realize I was streaming earlier on the first half of this video, so that was a little weird to go on Facebook and see the video there. Because I didn't know. I thought I was recorded. So let me finish going. So I left off with talking about a conversation on Instagram because the assumption that is made about women and their beliefs about submission. And I don't know if you pay attention a lot to my timeline. I talk so much fucking shit. Like I think I am a gangster, or like I'm like a mix of like I'm trying to think about, like, it's just really all over the fucking place. So I don't know why people take my shit so serious. Because some days I feel like I am Wonder Woman. Some days I feel like I am Punky Brewster. Some days I'm Nancy motherfucking Drew. Like I'm giving you everything. Like I'm giving you all jacks of the trades. Some days I'm a gangsta ass bitch. Some days I'm a city girl and want to make my pussy pop. Like some days it's just all over the fucking place. Like it just be all over the place when it comes to this shit. But I say that to say it, but and even some days I'm a savage. You know what I'm saying? So that brought me to a conversation or a topic or a little exchange on Instagram. And this, like I said, again, no hostility, no nothing. But it was just really funny to me with my thoughts of believing in do agree with Jeannie Ma on the concept of submission and agree with everything that she says. I agree. I want to go to work. I want to be my own independent strong person in my outside relationships with people and all that other stuff. But I am open to the concept, or like I that's what I do want though. I want a man at home to lead our family and stuff like that. Now this shit gets tricky. This shit gets tricky because, like I said, I believe what she said. She what she believes too. Like, I want a man to be in charge at home and all that other stuff, right? So this is the savage thing that I was telling you guys about. So the girl on Instagram that I follow, she had put this up, right? She, like I said, she's a really dope singer. Check her out. A beautiful. She's giving you a lot of dope face here. Her name is Punky the Singer on Instagram. Let me see if I can get that off. The little lines. Whatever. All right, so you see there's a picture of her and she has an X mark under Savage and then there's a check mark for Regal. And for under Savage, it's oh, it got cut off a little bit. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can fix that. Let me see. Let me open it up on my phone, and I can at least I can read to you what it says. Oh, it's cut off here. Oh, 1 second. Because I see that P, it says pay for everything. I think that's what it is. Like pay for like first dates and then pay for everything. So as you can see, the X above Savage and a check mark above Regal. And under Savage, it says all men are the same. Pay pay a bill, pay for everything. I know it's something in regards to men having to pay for everything. I'm wanting to get exactly what it's saying. And it is not up here. All right, I can't find it. But so it's all men are the same, pay for everything. And they said on the Regal, show me something new. A woman who believes in being Regal and doesn't claim the concept of savage believes that a man should show me something different. She believes in what do you bring to the table, blah 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 blah. And I was so confused when I seen this shit. And like I said, I was just like, why can't I be a Regal Savage? I was confused. Like I was so confused by it. More or less, I felt like I was confused because, like I said, I believe in submission myself. It's something that I've talked about for years, like years, right? So I believe in submission myself. So when I see this, I'm like, I mean, why can't I be a savage? Because I didn't fold the concept or the thought of being a savage into men. Not everything that I feel like I claim about myself as my personal identity to express who I am is it tied into men. You get what I'm saying? So it was just weird to hear or see that someone had took savage and tried to tie it into men because it was like I thought when I listened to Beyonce sing that song and she talked about I'm gonna have to raise the price up on you lazy females, I thought she was just talking some fly shit. But more or less, I thought the concept of a savage was taking over, killing the world. That's what I thought it was. Killing it, meaning like killing life. You get what I'm saying? Like owning every fucking thing, being a badass. That's what I took it as. And again, I think that's some program when it was some women that it's everything's not about a nigga. Everything's not about him. So it was just weird. And like I said, when I went back and listened to the words of the song, I was just like, I'm confused. And I'm pretty sure there's something in there about men, of course, but I don't think the whole motif about being a savage is tied up into men and that it means all men are the same. And I also feel like, as much as Meg talks her shit in her music, and as much as the city girls talk their shit in their music, please don't forget. I'm gonna be completely honest. Boop, bitches are taking shit behind closed doors, dog. So you know. Savage is, it's a song, baby. It's a song. But bitches are taking some shit behind closed door from their niggas. And I'm not, this is not a clown in them, but I think just people just really kind of read into things a little bit too much. My personal opinion on that. All right. So we got this concept of submission, right? I believe in it, right? But I also know that I feel like my twist on wanting to talk about this is really I was gonna show you guys Jeannie Ma and then what Lonnie Love and her co-star said. I will say I do want to point out something that Lonnie Love said that I thought was amazing and I thought was so true. There was a couple of things, but the main factor, one of the things I thought was amazing that Lonnie pointed out, as women, I don't mind submitting to my man. But if you're not my man, I'm not submitting to you. Like that's just weird. That's just weird. But that's the patriarchal society that we live in, and I think there is that concept of men that walk around expecting. If I work for you and you're my manager, my boss at work, that's all you are. You're my boss at work. I don't care about if you think I'm sweet. What? I don't like. What does that have to do with anything? What is that? What does me being sweet have to do with anything? But and so why I bring that up because Lonnie had talked about that concept of men thinking women in general in all aspects of life have to submit to them. And so that is then carried on to women who don't have any real relationship with them, right? Your work relationships with men, work relationship with women, right? Um yeah, service industries, dominant service industries that are led by men. Yeah, yeah. I sorry. Sometimes I feel like that when I go in and get certain services, and let's say it's a mechanic shop, I feel like men are so offended by questions I may come in with. Right? I did my research, got some questions. I feel like men can be so offended because that's their territory, right? They don't believe a woman could know too much or really feel like they have to explain anything to me. Most definitely that happens. I even in the tech field when it comes to men and sometimes women, as women we go to them. It's a very like you know don't question me type of thing and it's really annoying. And then I agree. Like I'm not where is it in the Bible says I'm supposed to submit to every man? And I think that's a problem. That should not be a requirement for work outside of me being not being insubordinate to my actual manager. Yeah, that's something completely different. But to be at work and to feel like, oh, that's a man, you can't talk that way, or you can't say that, or you can't question him, or da da da, you're gonna make him feel some sort of way, and all the other stuff. Like, what are you talking about? Like, no, That's not what we're fighting for, ladies. And then I think there's some confusion amongst ladies. Yes, nobody wants to tear down any man or anything like that. But as women, we do have a right to walk around and assert ourselves without feeling like we have to shrink to make shrimp dick little ass niggas feel better about themselves. You know what I mean? Anyway, so I brought this up, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm churning, I'm churning. Everyone is so in love. Everybody was like, oh yeah, you gotta submit to your man. I've seen a whole bunch of posts. Oh, you bitches are stupid. That's why you're single. You gotta submit. Blah 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 blah. Right? Because it's so cute to say the right shit. But then I started to think, all right, how can I flip this and think about it in a different way? And then I was like, do people ever know what submission looks like? And I really at that point knew that people really don't know what submission looks like. And it made me think about somebody. I know you're like a couple that I think more or less people don't know what they're looking at. And for me, I can tell that it's submission, right? And I'm talking about Kenya Moore and Mark Daly. I think people like the idea of submission, but to see how women make fun of what they see, that is submission. And I'm gonna play some things for you so you can get an understanding of. I didn't say that. I want to be completely honest. No one is saying that Kenya Moore should leave her husband, or that's not what we're here about. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about what does submission looks like, right? Submission really does look like if you nigga fucked up, you in public, looking like the best politician in the world. She looking like Claire out here. She looking like Claire out here. You know what I'm saying? She looking like Claire. She's just perfect. Looking like Claire out here in the sense of she's advocating for herself. She's speaking up about how she feels about it, but at the same time, she's still respecting her man, right? And all the females, oh, she's so stupid and da da da. Why is she letting him do da da da? You really don't understand submission. Because if you did, you would understand even in those rough of times, that is actually the behavior you should be supposed to do, right? There's a reason why Ray J is so mad at Princess Love because for in his mind she doesn't get the ultimate concept of submission. I'm not saying it's right, but what I'm saying, Ray J feels like, yes, I was fucking up in Las Vegas. Yes, I was doing something I wasn't supposed to be doing, but you're my wife and we're in this together. And the moment that you went out and let the world know you're wrong, so when you have Kenya Moore doing the total opposite, right? And like I said, she still was respectful about how she felt about how he behaved and how she even handled him on the show. If you go back and you watch Real Housewives of Atlanta. So let me show you some clips, and I'm going to show you these clips because um we're talking about people making fun of submission, right? This thing that everyone brags about that they can do oh so well, right? And not really realizing you might not be as submissive as you think, right? Some of the things that we've seen her sit through, there are some women I know who wouldn't sit through some of that shit. Like when he did that at that charity event and acted a fool, I know a lot of women who act like cause you fix a plate don't mean you submissive, baby. It's more than fixing the plate and serving up some box. I'm just gonna be complete and having dinner. It's more than those three things, right? It's having the intuitiveness and the maturity that may be a far advanced than your partner, right? All right, so let me see. Let me bring this up real quick. Yeah, that's the one I want. I want to see that because, like I said, I think people think submission is some cute shit. Babe, go get me a cocktail. I want to shake and not stir. No, that's not what that shit is. Be some other shit, mother other shit. It be this shit right here. Like Kenya Moore shit, that shit that had people like, whoa, where did Kenya go? Like, where's did anybody seen Kenya? Kenya, are you okay? Blink 3 times, Kenya, if you're alright, so we can save you. Like, it's that type of. I'm not gonna say like scared type of submission, but it's it's being mindful of the bigger picture. I would say, we're I think even Kenya told you. Kenya actually told you she's submissive as a wife. Like when she was like, I know you guys see me as, the queen of reeds and always flawless like I am, the chocolate Barbie that I am, I know you guys see me as perfect and whatnot, but at home, I do take more of a background role to my husband. She told you. She told you that from the very beginning. So, but like I said, I was really surprised to see how many people think that they could get with a lifestyle that, it's not as glamorous as you think. Hold on one second. Let me get this right. There we go. All right, so I thought this video is genuinely Genevieve. Check her out. All right, so I love the way she did it. It was like satire a little. I mean, I'm not gonna say I love, but I see she was going for the comedy bit. She was making fun of a woman who seems to be a submissive partner in her relationship. So it seems as though she was kind of, you know, jabs at it, making fun of it. And like I said, I get it because it's a show. Everyone got a villain, and I'm taking it a step deeper and showing, a reality of what reality is when you're talking about submission. So here we go.
Married for all of 5 minutes, but I have to say, getting married was the most amazing time in my life.
I don't know who this Genevieve is, but she's shady, hyping him up to be more than what he is.
My husband is a former Wall Street banker and now entrepreneur. He owns several businesses and he just does what he wants to do, and he's very
glowing,
doing it.
very nice, nothing but nice things to say about her husband.
Space because I worked on myself. Honestly, I got my husband. He's everything that I prayed for. It's challenging not having my husband with me in the same city. His businesses are in New York. My businesses are in Atlanta.
Challenging, but she's optimistic.
This is just how it is.
New marriage, they're going to make it work. Why is living in different states acceptable for either of you? They're just going to make it work. Well, I don't know why that conversation didn't happen before getting married, but
I've been told so many times by people who just were not very kind to me that they try to make me feel like, you're not worthy of real love.
Maybe the insecurity played a part in wanting to get married so quick. Okay.
Even though his work is in New York and mine is expressing in Atlanta,
just her life.
My husband and I see each other every weekend, and we talk all throughout the day and night, and that way we can just always keep in touch with each other and bond with each other.
Trying to be quiet and just paint a happy picture because it's tough, but she's getting through it.
I don't have time for the petty and the irrelevant BS.
She's above. She's married.
Be doing something that is going to advance my relationship with my husband.
Very happy to still be married. Very proud to still be married to her husband.
He'll move because I do
very wishful and believing in what he's saying.
I do want to have a baby in the near future.
Very pleasant still about it.
I want to have a baby in the near future.
Looking forward to the future. Okay, so Katie wants Mark to move because she'd rather raise a child in Atlanta instead of New York. Fair enough. That I
married an alpha male. My husband likes to be in charge.
She acknowledges and understands what her husband needs. Elmo.
My husband and I.
Very happy, doting.
My best friend.
Brags about her husband.
My husband likes to be in charge. I love my husband. But my husband always says.
So what happened? Okay.
I felt like I had a fairy tale ending, but some things are not exactly like you thought it would be. Mark's businesses are growing, so he has to be in New York a little bit more often. But I envisioned
giving him a
Brooklyn
solid
that Mark and I would be spending the majority of time
solid
in the same city, in the same house.
She's giving him a solid reason why things are not working. Okay, a solid reason. She's not saying anything salacious. She's just a solid reason. Businesses.
Mark's hustle and work ethic. The distance is really putting a strain on our marriage. Mark won't be able to make the party because he does have work. Do I want him to be here? Yes, absolutely. That is the difficulty of our relationship right now. I knew you were going to say something about her. I don't put gel in her hair. You know I don't put anything artificial in her hair.
Away from his wife.
She messes it up, and that's when it starts to fluff up.
Not there to help her with her first child and with those special moments, and he finds the littlest things to point out that she's doing
when
wrong.
When it comes to the baby, I was just very surprised that it just almost was like, you don't know anything. I've had 2 kids before. What do you know about kids? Sometimes I don't feel like he sees how his ways can make me feel like I cannot thrive as a parent or a wife. Sometimes
she
it's hard just,
stellar.
Picking my battles.
I know she's a beauty queen, but she most definitely
When are we going to see you next?
is being very submissive to her husband.
When are we going to see you next? When are we going to see you
Doesn't
next?
lose composure. Your husband treating you like an option. We'll see. We'll see. Who do I believe in this
Mark
submission
is
set?
usually in Atlanta every 7 to 10 days. When Mark does visit, we rarely have date night. His sole focus is the baby and less on our relationship. So it's taken a toll. Mark and I had a beautiful, beautiful beginning. There were always flowers and sweet messages and phone calls. And now I feel like, am I a little jealous because he put so much attention on Brooklyn? I want my daughter to have all the love in the world.
Still not going in on her husband, holding him down.
An alpha male. He
alpha male again.
Definitely traditional in a lot of ways.
Here we go with the alpha male again.
With Mark, Brooklyn is always a priority. Do I feel like I'm a priority? No. He doesn't care that I'm running a $1 million company. He does not care that I have a daughter that's running around and needs love. $1 million
company.
He does not care that I need to keep all of this together and I need to go to the gym. Girl. All he knows is that he's hungry and he wants some eggs. So where are the eggs? I miss being a girlfriend.
Okay. So I want to show y'all that, right? So, but even look at here, because she was like really cool under fire in one of these scenes that I was just like, girl, teach me how. How do you do that? But for me, it was just like, oh, okay. I could kind of tell that, she keeps on bringing how he's an alpha male. Now, little quick story time. Let me get back to the camera. Y'all. And we can go ahead and wrap this up because these are basically my feelings around this. Get back to the camera. All right, y'all. So my feelings around that is, yeah, but that's what submission looks like, right? And I think people, like I said, it's not as glamorous as everyone thinks it is. It's it's really sometimes not saying what you want to say, because of you understanding what's going on. I feel like a lot of times, even when we listen to Kenya Moore, she was always saying, I know what the issue is. I'm quite aware what's going on with my husband. Like, she would always, like, she knew the deeper issues with him. She never went and exposed him. She never put his, she never said anything. I'm not going to say exposed, but she never put him out there. You get what I'm saying? She most definitely, I felt like, held it down. That's submission, y'all. I think a lot of other couples that we see that in that people make fun of, and that's why I say, could people really handle it? It's cute to say, but could you really? Tiny and Ti, that's submission. A lot of you ladies who would love to have get a man like Ti, could you do that? Could you be that type of submissive woman? We hear that all the time. So, a lot of these football players and a lot of these men with money, they want a submissive woman. Or even a lot of these men with certain lifestyles and whatever. Certain lifestyles are spoiled. Yeah, spoiled men want submissive women. Yeah, that most definitely. So yeah, could you handle that? Hold on one second. I wanted to go to. I also wanted to see what were the comments on. Let's see. The comments were not nice at all. It says, you can see a little bit here. All right, here we go. Am I the only one who thinks she's a narcissist who met her match? Like, what did you like? There's nothing that you guys seen in that clip that even says that she's a narcissist. I just want to see if anybody is going to say, "Oh, Kenya must really love her husband and she's trying to make it work because that's what a nice, supportive, submissive wife does." I'm looking for those type of comments because what I know is that niggas would drag a bitch for hell for being a weak ass bitch out in these streets over it. That's what I do know. That's what I know. That's what I see happen. That's what usually happens in these comments and stuff like that. So I ask people, like, do you really think you're submissive? Are you really open to the concept? Or do you really think you can handle it? Do you think you are in a submissive relationship? And more than likely you're not. More than likely you're not. It's just more than likely you're not. Not more than likely you're not in the way that everyone thinks there's that agreed definition of what submission is. I just feel like when submission is just us submitting into what we are agreed are our roles in our relationship. Like, you hear what I'm saying? Like, what made us comfortable with each other? Like, what made us fall in love with each other? You hear what I'm saying? And playing those roles in, because if you accept somebody, you just accept them, right? So, like I said, I think this is a black people conversation that we keep having, because the wrong niggas are getting a hold of certain concepts in the Bible and then just out in these streets and out here acting like a motherfucking king face and talking about no, I'm just the Hotep conscious community, they're really big on talking about submission and women and doing this all this stuff, and it's just like, what? We don't have to talk about this. You don't. The only reason you want to, I feel like sometimes, I'm gonna be completely honest with black men. Black men who worry about submission are the ones that are usually fucking up and doing something, and they want to kind of have that a little bit over your head because it's something you agreed upon. You know what I mean? When it kind of came to the nature of your relationship, and if you back out or you try to change anything about the nature of your relationship, you're wrong because you agreed upon it. So why would you get with somebody you knew what it was? Now it's your fault, right? Because you did agree to that submission, right? And what that comes with. The other thing, talking about the okay, so right. I got this funny ass cousin, right? He lives in Georgia, and this past summer we went to West Virginia and we were staying up and we were playing spades, and that's what my family do. We like to play cards and whatnot. So I didn't know my cousin was divorced. I did not know. I did not know my cousin was divorced. And he started talking about his divorce. So one of the things, I'm his little cousin, and he was talking about, and I think my uncle, we were just talking about the concept. And it was borderline of when he got married, he made the money in a relationship. Over time, she went to school and she made the bulk of the money in a relationship. What ended up happening is the power dynamics around the finance changed, whereas if though, he was making really good money and they had joint bank accounts, she had access, it was openness, right? He didn't make her ask him for stuff. Like, it was just a, you know what I mean? Relationship. But that changed when she became the breadwinner, right? Oh, why you purchased this and this and this and that. Not letting him be a man in the sense of fathering and stuff like that. So my cousin said he was like, I'm out. He divorced her. I say that to say, yeah, how you start your relationship off and the way you started off and all that stuff really matters. And if a man is used to you being more of a submissive partner, yeah, it's going to be really hard halfway through if he didn't change or y'all didn't change in a different way to get him to get on board with you switching it up. And I can't say that I felt like, I did not feel like my cousin was wrong. I didn't feel like my cousin was wrong because I agree. I think, I think for her, and there's nothing wrong with her change, her evolution. There's nothing wrong with that. But that's why there is a such thing as divorce, because if it doesn't work, people usually do get divorced. She changed and he wasn't with the change, and rightfully so. They broke up. But I'm just saying, submission is, even if you are the breadwinner, you don't change with that. And I think we've seen very bad, we see very bad submission relationships, right? I think even if you look back and if you think about personalities, I'm talking about pick up the similarities in personalities and what they allowed to happen in public. Um, Mary J. Blige and her husband. I believe Mary J. Blige is a more of a submissive wife. I think she even said it. I gave him everything. And no, I'm not even gonna say I think she gave. She had said interviews. I gave him. I just let him in. I gave everything. I didn't care. I was just open. And I think there was another video I wanted to do with Tamar because I wanted you guys to see that Tamar has bragged about being so open in relationships. I just give everything. I just fall so deep in love. And this is like, girl, we are not 15. What's going on? You have so much to lose. That is not cute coming out of your mouth. That is so not cute. And looking hindsight for Mary J. Blige, y'all have too much at stake to not be trying to find a way to have your business and have your relationships. But being that open to the point where you lose your damn mind, that you start running your business and attending to your own affairs, or like I said, I think for Tamar, I think she likes it. I think she's bragged about several times about being in crazy relationships. I think her family, I don't know how, I mean, I guess we're going to go there, but I think her family's tired of her. That's what I think. And I think we've all gotten there. And I think, even with my family, I think, people get tired. I think her family's tired. And especially to see that she threw them under the bus and like she went against them for him. You get what I'm saying? And you have this person who seems to, and this is why I think they're tired. I don't think they're tired of being there for their sister. I think they're tired of her trying to play their face, right? Either, either you don't want your sisters and them around or any of that stuff, and or you do, right? I mean, you got to make up your mind. Because then when you get around them, you're walking away. You seem like you closed off. You just seem like you don't want to hash anything out. But then you want to get on screen this season and talk about nobody in my family come around. Well, I distinctly remember. I distinctly remember. Okay, I distinctly remember like some of those relationships you were acting like you were cool on, and how you carry yourself in the media, you act like you cool on your other sisters. How you gonna jump on that motherfucking Instagram and talk about Tracy's album and auto tune and all? You've been fucked up. Like you really have been fucked up. So yeah, I didn't want to do a whole video on her because I think there's just like I want to watch that compilation video. It's funny as hell. I might do that, but I didn't want to do a whole video because I feel like I said it. Once you sit and listen to her, you'll realize like Tamar likes this. Tamar likes this. When she talks about Vince and confronting his other girlfriend because they were just dating at the time. You know what I mean? Like she likes this shit. You gotta believe people when someone really go out their way in their to promote their ratchetness. Like, come on. I love Tamar. I want y'all to know that because I was just actually listening to her song "My Man" and a couple other because I'm a fan. I was gonna play it, but I don't want them to cut my shit or copyright. They copyrighted my other video, so I wasn't gonna do that again. But yeah, okay. So bad toxic relations, submissive relationships that we see, and the other reason for me when even talking about submission, when I went back and look at like women in music history, all of those women submitted to their manager, husbanders, husbanders. Like all those women submitted to their husbanders. You get what I'm saying? So it's not something as a woman you should take lightly. It's not something you should do with everybody. Other bad ones. Monique and her husband are really bad. Monique and her husband are really bad. And I think they're really bad because I don't think submission should require you to like lose your personality. You get what I'm saying? To the point that outsiders who feel like they've known you for years are looking in, it comes across, it makes me want to say, like someone's in a trance, like someone put them on a hypnosis or something. Because that's what sometimes how Kenya, when she's around Mark, and then I'm sorry, when she's around Mark, and she having to be in her role in her relationship, it makes it like, okay, you okay, girl, blink. And I think the same thing for Monique. It was it's total opposite extreme to what we were used to. And like I say, I get the whole growth part, but at some point, um, when Monique is with him, it's just not. I don't like it. I don't like it. I think that's a bad example of submission. I'm trying to think of, so what are good examples of submission? I think the relationship Fantasia is in with her husband right now seems like a good one. I mean, we're always on the outside looking in. I think Will and Jada have a submissive relationship, and I don't know who is who. I will say that. I don't. I'm not trying to be funny. I don't know who is who, and it's not to be funny because it could be just what they may agree upon on who's the more. But no, I am going to say I think that Will is. I think Jada is submissive to Will, most definitely. I do. I do get big dick vibes from Will, even though I know he does have one. But I get those vibes from him, and I think it's not like as I think we're used to it being um all aggressive and I think we're used to that type of it, but I think it's there. And I think you knew it was there when he was like, "Nah, I'm gonna get you back." You know what I'm saying? And so I was like, "Oh, okay, Willie from Philly ain't no punk." I mean, he is summertime, so summertime. I do think she's a submissive person, but I think again, whatever that arrangement is, and it just does not look the same across the board. It just doesn't. Other good submissive relationships where you can tell the partner is submissive to their. Mm-mm-mm-mm. I don't want to do this because I don't want to do this because I hate patriarchy, but Papoose and Remy Ma, and we'll just say that. We'll just leave it like that. Who else? Who else has good, dope, submissive relationships? This one's a tough one. If you ever listen to what's his podcast? If you ever listen to DJ Envy and his wife Gia Casey, which I actually love their podcast. I love their marriage um post cheating and post him not being an insecure weirdo. Um um Post all that, their relationship seems to be really good, and she's most definitely a submissive wife. So there's some good examples out there, y'all. So submission looks different. Um, I'm gonna always say Bill Cosby and Claire Huxtable was an example of submission, and I think that was equal submission, to be honest with you, because we're always talking about percentage wise when we're talking about what type of submission we're talking about. I think for me, Bill Cosby and Claire was an example of 50-50 submission to each other. Dope. I think the person who should not talk about submission, who should really just stay away from it, who should just really, because they lose their fucking mind and they don't establish getting good submissive relationship, is little motherfucking Mo. If she submit to another nigga, she submit to another nigga. Okay, Lil Mo lost me. I'm sorry. I am a little Mo fucking fan. Yeah, I just don't play with me. I'm a little Mo fan. I'm a fucking little Mo fan. Don't play with me. But let me tell you something. She says shit that pisses me off so bad that I was like, yo, I'm not gonna say the rest of it, but no, I'm a little Mo fan. Let me tell you, my favorite little Mo. Let me see. You make me they don't have it on here. Oh wait, ready? No, that's just the same one. No, come on, y'all better stop playing. I love that album, but they don't have her second album on here. I'm on Spotify. Where is it all? Let me tell you why I fell out with Lil Mo. Let me tell you why I fell out with Lil Mo. It was that season of Hollywood Exes, and Lil Mo was divorcing her. What was her second husband, Philip? And I was just really caught off guard, and I hated how her daughters. She was checking it. She wanted to divorce the nigga, and so she's talking to her daughters about how they feel, and they just like, we don't like him. And I just thought that was just so fucking crazy to me that like when how often you check in. I was turned off by that because you got this woman who just keep on getting from one marriage to the next marriage and getting from underneath one nigga to underneath another nigga and talking about I'm just that type of Marian type, and it's just like, well, okay, but are you checking in with these babies over here? You got all these babies over here. Have you asked them how they feel about all these guests moving in and out of their house? Have you asked these kids? Like, get these motherfucking kids permission. Keep moving these niggas in their house, like for real, Momo. I'm gonna fucking keep on talking about their husbands. They make divorces, my nigga. They make fucking divorces. But no, check with them kids. But how you gonna wait till you feel like divorcing to find out if your kids like you ain't been like I thought that was crazy. And then she made some comments, alleged on all of this. This is the allegedly. A shout out to Alexander. I forgot his own name. Yeah, this is the allegedly part. Is it Alexander O'Neill? Because I like his show. They're really funny. I haven't watched it much at all lately. My capacity to sit through a lot of stuff right now is very limited. I was sitting through a lot of long Facebook stuff like an hours and 2 hours, and I was like, no, this is not. I'm not like I love YouTube. Like I'm doing the videos and stuff like that. I'm passionate about it. We'll pick it up more in the future, but 2 3 hour lives. They're not doing that. Mm-mm. So, but I'm talking about my right now. What I'm able to listen to. What I'm able to listen to probably like 15, half an hour. I listen to an hour. I can do two at the most. Two at the most. So a lot of stuff that I'm listening to is like 10, 15 minutes long. 10, 15 minutes long at this point. 10, 15 minutes long. All right, I forgot where I left off at, but oh, Little Mo. Oh, okay. I was talking about allegedly. And so the other comment that I don't like that Little Mo made, she made a comment about Tupac. I'm a Tupac fan, but I am about being I'm about fucking women, right? So y'all all know Tupac was convicted and charged with rape of a woman, right? So Little Mo I listened to a podcast she had listened to. She made some comments and came out because I guess the rape allegations or the rape charges came. It was a conversation at some point in time about what's his name, about Tupac. Oh, I don't believe her. This is Lil Mo. Okay, allegedly paraphrasing all that. So this is Lil Mo. Oh, I don't believe her. Tupac wouldn't have to rape nobody. Did you see how fine that man is? And it's just like I don't want like an ignorant bitch with a platform, yo. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I don't. I don't. I don't. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't. I don't. I don't. Did what? So you're telling me that because you're attracted to Tupac, that this woman should feel, oh my God, out of all the women in the world, who chose to rape me? Like, I'm confused. And then that's how you be knowing people are having their having their slip showing because you know me, Google works. Google works. And because Google works, I go Google. I want to read about these Tupac charges because, this was such a profound man that actually am a fan of. I love his music. I loved some of the things he talked about and stuff like that. He's a Gemini like me. So I get it, right? So I want to know. But the facts of the matter is that Tupac, rightfully so, got charged and was convicted for rape of a woman, right? Because if Little Mo takes the time, she goes back and she sees that she did give permission to Tupac. Yeah, she was feeling Tupac. That's a fine man right there. She was feeling Tupac. But the problem was that allegedly, from what I read, I want to say allegedly because, like I said, I read this years ago. He opened the door for his homies to come in a room after he was in bed with this woman. That's right. My vulnerability, my body, I give that to you. And the fact that you would put me in a position to be taken advantage of by your homies, yes, he rightfully was shocked. And so just to hear her, and she's a pick me. I'm gonna say pick me, but she most definitely will go against women when men are wrong. And I think that's more or less why some of these relationships have been shitty, because you're not setting correct boundaries for yourself, and what you allow and what other women or think other women should go through is acceptable lets us know what you accept, right? Ooh, that was a lot. That's 45 minutes on top of the other 13 from the other. Listen, y'all know how we do over here. I keep it bougie and posh. Again, submission is not all. I mean, please know what it is. Please, it's not a conversation you should be having out loud with everyone. It's not something that little boys, little niggas with nothing to offer somebody, nothing to bring to a table should be thinking they should be having this type of conversation. You know how many roundaway ass niggas I meet? I'd be like, oh, I'm looking for a submissive. Like, nigga, you need to be looking for a job. Look, nigga, let's look together. Like, what? You worrying about submission? What you want me to be submissive to go get you some pork and beans? Like, come on, nigga. You know such a thing as submissive and broke. What? What? I can if I were a nigga and we were broke together. Like, there's don't expect submission. Don't expect. No, my contract is voided. Your ass didn't live up to your ass didn't live up to your expectation. That contract is voided, my nigga. Now go fix my plate. I'm just joking. Damn. I'm just joking. All right, y'all. Y'all know how we do. We keep it bougie and posh. Let me know what you think. Did you guys pick up on the fact that you thought that Kenya Moore was in a submissive relationship, and who do you else see in the celebrity sphere of being in a submissive relationship? Like I said, I pointed out some. I'm trying to think of anybody real quick that I can think of that are in any healthy submissive relationships. I mean, we've seen a whole lot of niggas try to do that whole submissive thing. I think that's the whole. When I talk about like a conscious hotep type of like pan, like what's his name? Um, that motherfucking Blueface practice that dumb practice that he practices slavery. Fuck that. That's what Blueface practices. Like what? What? Allegedly. I don't even say he got a fight house with women in there. Like he's just oh wait, how did I get there? All right, wait, get back. All right, so Blueface. Who else was there? Who else is in good submissive relationships? I don't know. All I can think of. You know who seems like they're in a good 50-50? And this is like I said, we don't have too much to go on. I think Denzel Washington and his wife are in a good submissive relationship. And I say that because she plays a great part to him. And like I said, I think it's a 50-50. I think she has a very strong presence on him because I think he's made comments that like, ooh, you know what I mean? So, and his son, oh gosh, oh gosh, he's fine. Father and son is fine. Who else? We've like, but you know what? We talk about submission. Like I said, I feel like we've seen it all. We've seen all these niggas try to do it in the love and hip hop. We've seen it. We've seen it all. But those are the bad. Those are the wrong submissions. Those are the ones who shouldn't even been thinking like that. Those are the ones that y'all should be dating, and this should be naturally happening because, again, if you are interested in wanting to satisfy your partner's needs, it just happens. It just happens. You don't do that for everyone. Same way, like in general, you don't do when you're dating someone. You just don't do the same thing for everyone. That's just that. All right, y'all keep it bougie. Y'all keep it posh, and don't forget if it's your first time here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I am out.